Today we'll be looking at the 8 first date narcissistic warning signs. If you've been trying to learn more about whether your partner is a narcissist or not, then this one's for you. Narcissistic traits can often be disguised if the narcissist in question is a high-functioning one. Therefore, you will find that many people think it is hard to identify a narcissist just by going on one single date with them. However, there are a few tricks to working your way around identifying a narcissist, even if they are a high-functioning one. This can also positively affect your skills in identifying narcissistic behavior throughout your life, which is why throughout this video, we will be sharing the 8 first date narcissistic warning signs. But before we get started, please remember to take a quick second and support our content by liking, subscribing, and turning on the post notification bell. This helps us create more videos like this for your entertainment. If you're all set, then let's get started. A narcissist is not capable of carrying on a conversation in which he does not eventually bring the topic back to himself. Therefore, they will be quick to seize the first opportunity that presents itself in order to relate a personal anecdote from their own life. Sadly, when you are dealing with a narcissist, this will be a tendency that will remain present regardless of the topic that is being discussed. What is worse is that it will probably seem endearing at first. This is because the narcissist will seem approachable and witty, which will make them a fantastic choice for a first date. They will do everything to make you ignore how you feel. Most importantly, they will dismiss the fact that they do not appear to be interested in you. At the end, you will find yourself swallowing your words in order to avoid offending them. All of these things should come off as a red flag, especially during a first date, so keep an eye out. Another very common sign of being on a first date with a narcissist is that they will refrain from showing any real interest in their date. If you sit at a fancy restaurant for hours just to listen to your date whine about family, chat about their hobbies and avoid asking about yours, talk up a big game, or to watch them look at you dismissively, we are sorry to be the bearer of bad news. But chances are that the person you wasted an entire date on could be a narcissist on more than one level. One way of being able to tell whether your partner for the night is a narcissist or not is to wait until the end of the night. While it might seem like a bad idea to wait for your date night to end, this actually gives you an advantage against the narcissist you are dealing with. Wait until the date is over and casually ask your partner some questions to see if they have learned anything about you and your life. If you know more about them than they know about you, and if you did not withhold information from them on purpose, then maybe they were not as interested in you as they claimed to be at the start. This is one of the few ways of how you can gauge if your date had any actual interest in you. If they did not, then you should not bother to waste your time on them any longer. Delays and interferences are a normal thing that a lot of people go through in their day-to-day lives. However, there is no one way of dealing with these delays and interferences. Some people will run from them or be annoyed and put off by the obstacles. Others will approach these delays with patience and with a mind dead set on solving the problem at hand. By keeping a watchful eye on how your date reacts to such delays and interferences throughout the night, you can have a good idea of whether they are displaying narcissistic traits or not. If you encounter issues with your waiter through the night and your date has a fit about things not being the way they should be, then you should take it as a red flag. If they seek conflict instead of resolving it, then they are probably trying to gather attention from a crowd. This is some extremely common narcissistic behavior. And if you were able to spot this, your best course of action to take will be to kindly excuse yourself and cut the evening as short as possible. We mentioned how people who suffer from narcissistic behavior are unable to tolerate mistakes. They are also insufferable perfectionists, and therefore they tend to be very picky even about the tiniest things. This also includes sitting arrangements regarding your first date. Narcissistic personality disorder has a very distinct pattern where the sufferer has to put themselves at a prime spot at all times. Sadly, this includes restaurants and movie theater seats, because if your partner is a narcissist, they will have no sense of self-sacrifice to provide you with a pleasant evening. If you are seeing a movie and only the back seats are left and you end up having a terrible view of the silver screen, your date will likely want to cancel your tickets or exchange them for something else with better seating. If you're going out for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, your narcissistic partner will want a table with a view or a predominant location. A spot that is quaintly located in the corner with some dim lighting or a table closer to the kitchen doors will fail to satisfy the egotistic needs of a narcissist and might even cause a fit, leaving everyone in the room looking at you. Since that will mess with the ego of a narcissist, you could expect to have more arguments throughout the night or have to listen to a long-winded rant about how your date hates people. Either way, your experience for the rest of the night will likely be far from pleasant. What do you do when a date night has some obstacles to it? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comments section below. Narcissistic personality disorder makes sufferers function on a basis of supply and demand. If a narcissistic partner thinks that they can benefit from something you have or can do, they will try to milk you for it. And in order to do that, they will first make you feel as special as can be. They will be all about you and all over you. You will have gifts and compliments flying up in the air, so long as you are able to present them with what they need. However, not all of their gestures will be so obvious and up in your face. Their ways of making you feel special will often be subtle in order to come off naturally. They will recommend a dish for you at the restaurant or make sure you are on the right side of the traffic. They will make you swoon and bombard you with loving actions. This is called love bombing. And it is something that narcissists use often. So if you feel that your date was almost too good to be real, you might want to approach this partner with caution. These types of people can later turn on you when you stop giving them what they want. In fact, they can use all their loving actions as leverage and ammunition to win the so-called war that you have found yourself in. A war that they have waged first by playing on your emotions. That is why most dating coaches advise you to keep your guard up for the first few dates until you actually get to know the person you are dealing with. Because if you show a lot of vulnerability, a narcissist will pick up on it and use your weakness against you. A narcissist survives merely by being the center of everyone's attention. They crave it the way vampires crave blood. So when you stop paying attention to your narcissistic date, things could start to get ugly. At first, their remarks might come off as jokes or harmless comments about how much time you spend with your friends or on your social media accounts. Eventually, when you bring up something or talk about your day, they might try to turn it around to make you feel like you are inconsiderate, even though you are not. This in itself will be enough to damage your connection, and while it is not always easy to spot during a first date, it is definitely a telltale sign of things being wrong. Narcissistic people have a tendency to be more emotionally intelligent than others. They could appear chatty and sociable with the staff that serves you throughout the night and come off like they can charm everyone without any effort whatsoever being involved. But the strong social skills and the readiness for conversation are often a decoy. And if you watch a narcissist closely enough, you can see that. The only thing that a narcissist will find in a new connection is the opportunity to create a bigger audience for themselves. You can easily tell if this is the case or not by focusing on how much your date talks about themselves to these new people. Do they bring you up in conversation? Or do they at least ask this new person some questions to show their interest? If your date is all about themselves, then maybe it's time to take a step back and find someone else. A person who suffers from narcissistic personality disorder is often their own worst critic, which in turn makes them critique everything and everyone else as well. Whether your first date is at the movie theater, at a fancy restaurant, or even at your house, it will be fairly easy for your partner to find something to point out and critique through the evening. The worst part is you may not be able to stop their criticism from ruining the evening for you, because that is the goal behind a critical narcissist. They will want you to feel bad about yourself in order to be able to feel better about themselves. They will then hyper-focus on that one thing that they have criticized and base all of their negative assumptions on it. This can result in them talking about themselves the whole night and turning everything into one big rant. Therefore, if your date takes a critical turn for the worst and your partner starts attacking your favorite movie or celebrity crush, you might need to secretly dial your best friend and arrange for a way out of the outing. And that marks the end of our video on how to identify a narcissist during the first date. If you enjoyed watching this, then be sure to let us know by giving us a thumbs up. Want to be the first to know when we have a new video? Then turn on the bell to be notified every time we upload one. Finally, if you're looking for something to binge on, you can click on the video that's currently on your screen. We'll see you in our next video.